My name is Scott Aromatico, and in today's video we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances in my collection that I think are worth splurging on. Now, this is my opinion. I think it goes without saying this is just a guide. This is purely just for entertainment because I love talking about fragrances, and I know y'all do too, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on this thumbnail. But that's right, today we're going to talk about 10 fragrances, in my opinion, in my collection that are worth splurging on. I think it also goes without saying that yes, I know there are all kinds of different ways to buy fragrances. There are fragrance Facebook groups. There are places on the internet where you can buy from discounters and get these at much cheaper prices. In fact, I have a link in the description down below for one of them, and that's called Venba Fragrances, where you can use my discount code, get already a discount on a lot of these fragrances, and save 10%. But if you are paying full retail price, what are 10 fragrances that you would love to splurge on? Let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first fragrance I want to talk about is from a relatively new company. This is a company out of Sweden. They are taking the fragrance world by storm, and it's none other than Alexander, and this one is called Desire. Now, let me tell you guys, when this fragrance comes to you, the presentation is absolutely spectacular. You get this amazing big fragrance box that is heavy and has a lot of weight and is well constructed. And I can tell you, holding this bottle in my hand, for those of you who care about things like this is a very heavy bottle, and the cap is cool as well, and the juice just smells fantastic. And this fragrance right here called Desire is absolutely intoxicating, and it's perfect for this time of year, whether it be fall or winter, because this is very, very gourmandish in nature. Now, you can find this fragrance for around $323. Again, these are fragrances that I think are worth splurging on, and I think this fragrance is worth every penny. Again, as I've stated already, you may be able to find this at a cheaper price, but I'm talking about if you had unlimited money and you wanted to spend it, what would you splurge it on? Desire really takes the cake, because as soon as you spray this baby, you get a nice blast of hearty citrus, mainly orange. There's a lot of orange in this fragrance. And then that ginger really kicks in and gives it a nice little pop. And then you've got some orange blossom in here, makes it a little bit fuzzy, makes it really, really nice. But my favorite note in here is the sweet coffee note. Now, coffee is Indian ice cream, and it just smells absolutely intoxicating. And with that coffee note, and I hope I'm saying that right, if I'm not, please forgive me, with that coffee note and the vanilla note that's in here mixed with that citrus, guys, this fragrance is spectacular. Then, as the fragrance starts to develop, you get some nice amber, and of course there's some sandalwood in here to give it a nice creamy feeling. But guys, this one is absolutely intoxicating. I get about 8+ hours on my skin, so I had to put this one on the list. This one is Desire by Alexander. Definitely check out Alexander because they make some amazing fragrances, and I'm telling you, their presentation is first class. All right, the next fragrance on my list is from Precious Liquids. Now, I know a lot of you know about Precious Liquid, and the first presentation was just okay, but this next group of fragrances that came out by them, the presentation, they definitely upped the game, and this fragrance right here smells absolutely intoxicating, guys. This is Precious Liquid, and this one is called Tobacco Royale. Wow. If you guys are looking for an amazing tobacco scent, this one is just absolutely amazing. Okay, now I know the price is around $275, and I get it, that's high, but I think this fragrance is worth every penny, and it just smells so good. This one is definitely worth splurging on, because as soon as you spray it, you get that blast of tobacco absolute. And what I really love is that fruity apricot note. Oh, it's just really, really works with that tobacco note. It's just so sweet and so gorgeous. And then as the fragrance starts to develop, you get the vanilla, lots of vanilla. You get some warm spices. You get that sticky cistus. And guys, this one definitely goes 8+ hours, and it's perfect for the fall, winter. Had to include this in the list. And again, it's $275, but this is worth having in my collection, and I'm so glad I do. This is Tobacco Royale by Precious Liquid. If you don't know about them, definitely check them out. All right, next fragrance on my list is from one of my favorite fragrance houses in the world. That is, of course, the House of Argos. Guys, this one right here is absolutely spectacular. This is Adonis Awakens. Now, you're gonna pay $275 again for this fragrance, but it is so worth it. This bottle is so heavy in my hand. The presentation is incredible. The box is amazing for those of you who care about those things. Look at the top with the crystal in the top. Guys, everything about this is just absolutely amazing. And the atomizer is pressure sensitive, and this juice is so gorgeous. As soon as you spray it, you get sweet grapefruit right out of the gate. You get this fresh pink pepper that smells amazing. There's lots of rose in this, lots of vanilla, but my favorite note in here is the raspberry. The raspberry and the vanilla and the grapefruit just all work in harmony, and this smells spectacular. This fragrance house is just so luxurious and so worth having in your collection. And guys, they just released like 4 or 5 brand new fragrances. They haven't had any releases for a while, and then boom, right out of the gate, they released like 4 or 5, and I'm so excited to get my hands on all those. They have a Triumph of Bacchus extrait. Holy crap, I cannot wait to get my hands on that one. But guys, we're talking about this one, and it smells amazing. Like I said, it has that beautiful raspberry note, and it's just so creamy with the sandalwood. I feel like this fragrance is very versatile. I feel like you can wear it in the spring and summer, but I also think with all those heavier gourmandish notes, you can wear it in the fall and winter as well. And again, I get about 8 hours on my skin, and you're gonna pay around 275 bucks. So I think it's worth having in the collection. All right, guys, next fragrance house I'm gonna talk about comes from an amazing man. His name is Mo, and he owns the indie fragrance house called Kajal. Guys, this fragrance right here, spectacular. This one is called Almaz. And yeah, I think you can pick this one up for around 230, maybe 220, somewhere in that range. Again, probably in discounters, you might be able to find it cheaper. I get that. But if I was gonna splurge and pay 230, Almaz is the one I would start with. As soon as you spray this one, it is so fruity. You get a blast of that black currant, then you get the lemon, you get the tanginess coming from the orange, and then you get a beautiful, beautiful raspberry note as well, mixed with some rose. Then there's this sweet, succulent brown sugar and vanilla that really just make this one smell absolutely amazing. And then of course, some creamy sandalwood and some amber warming it up. I feel like this fragrance is versatile too, but I think most of you would probably wear it around the spring and summertime. But I feel like you could really wear this one all year round because it's really, really strong. It really has a big scent bubble that projects really, really far. You gotta be careful with the sprays. I one time sprayed too much of this, and I found it to be very cloying, so you have to be careful with the sprays because this one is a loud fragrance and projects and really lasts for 8+ hours. So for that reason, I had to stick Kajal Almaz on the list for around 230 bucks. Definitely worth splurging on. All right, guys, next one on the list is from Sospiro. This has been in my collection for just a little under a year. This one is called Vibrato. Guys, this fragrance is so good. This is the perfect spring and summer fragrance. Now you're gonna spend upwards of $300 on this, but for me, it's worth every penny because you got that beautiful sweet grapefruit opening, a kick of ginger. It's very powdery in the middle. Then it becomes musky, warm, and woody. And I absolutely love this one. It smells so gorgeous to me. And I'm so glad I have this in my collection. It's one of my special occasion fragrances. And it was just worth splurging on. It really works. Spring and summer fragrance, projects really, really nice, and it's definitely a head turner. All right, next fragrance on my list is a favorite of everybody in the house. My son loves this one, I love it, my wife loves this one. If you're looking for a tropical beach fragrance, look no further than Stéphane Hubert Lucas and God of Fire. This one is worth every penny. This one was around 230 bucks, and I'm telling you, I'm in love with this fragrance. Right away, you get that beautiful succulent mango. You get that nice citrusy lemon. There's some red berries in here to give it a little bit of sweetness. There's that pop of ginger. It's musky, it's warm, it's woody. It's just so tropical. I get about 6 to 8 hours on my skin, give or take. Has a nice scent bubble at about an arm's length. Man, this smells so good. Every time I wear it, people ask me what I'm wearing. I get a ton of compliments on this. I remember when I wore this one up in Chicago for a fragrance event, I remember a bunch of people asking me what I was wearing. This one smells absolutely intoxicating. This is God of Fire by Stéphane Hubert Lucas, and it's around 230 bucks. Guys, I'm so intrigued by so many of his fragrances. He is an artist and a master perfumer. I cannot wait to add more in my collection. Have you guys tried anything from Stéphane Hubert Lucas? If you have, what are some of your favorites besides God of Fire? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, the next one on the list comes from the house of Raja Perfumes. This one is Oceana. Shout out to my good friend over at My Two Cents for helping me get a hold of this fragrance and buying it at a really good price. But guys, this fragrance is upwards of 400 bucks, and I think it's worth every penny. I was really surprised by this fragrance the first time I ever smelled it. I think I smelled it in Chicago. And this fragrance definitely blew me away because there was so much going on with it. But most of all, I was really expecting it to be kind of boring and normal and overpriced. I was expecting it to be this aquatic fragrance that we've smelled 1,000 times before. But I was so wrong. There's something so different about this and something so alluring. And I find it to be blended perfectly. And I don't know, it's just really masculine and sweet and gorgeous. It's one of my favorite fragrances. As soon as you spray it, you get that grapefruit, you get that orange, but I really love the lime in here. It's really crisp and almost dry. It smells so good. Of course, you got a lot of soothing lavender, very, very aromatic, extremely aromatic coming from that juniper. Love that iris and violet in this, making it powdery, but I love the aromatic touches as well. It's very woody. There's something herbaceous about it. It's slightly green. It comes off very fresh and clean. And then as it starts to dry down, it becomes very woody and masculine. And there's a hint of leather as well as it starts to dry down. So there's a lot going on with this fragrance. I feel it's very complex and not your typical oceanic fragrance or, aquatic fragrance. There's something I really like about this one. I get about 6 to 8 hours on my skin and it projects at about an arm's length. And like I said, you're usually gonna find this fragrance, for around $400 or north of that. Again, if you find it in a fragrance group or you're able to secure it like I was from a friend, then of course do that. But this fragrance is definitely worth splurging on. This is Raja Parfums Oceana. All right, next fragrance on my list that is totally worth splurging on. I love this fragrance house and I love this fragrance in particular. This is from Bond number 9. This is Bleecker Street. Guys, for a fragrance this size, you're gonna spend $300 on up. But this is exquisite. This is refined. This is gorgeous. This fragrance will work in so many special occasions. Wearing it to the office, wearing it for that power board meeting, wearing it to a wedding. There's just something about this, the blend, that is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love the notes in here. First, you get a blast of violet leaf that's just fresh and clean. Then the star of the show is that blueberry note mixed with that cinnamon. Just works so good and it's just so refined. I love it. You got fresh oak moss, sweet vanilla, and warming amber, and then some nice dry cedar. I get about 6 to 8 hours. Guys, this fragrance is so classy. I had to include it in the list. And for, $300, I think it's worth it because it smells freaking fantastic. All right, guys, next fragrance on the list comes from MFK Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This one is Masculine Pluriel. This is a great fragrance to have in your collection because you can wear it all year round for any occasion, anytime, any place, no matter what it is. But this is one of the most beautiful lavender fragrances on the market. It's got clean vetiver, it's woody, there's some masculine leather on the dry down. This goes 8+ hours on my skin and you're gonna spend around $230. This is one of those fragrances you can find on Venba for a pretty good price and you can use my promo code. You can find a lot of the fragrances on this list there, guys, so definitely check that out. But Masculine Pluriel, in fact, all of Francis Kurkdjian's masterpieces are so good. He's just an amazing perfumer. All his fragrances work on me, and I find they're worth buying and worth splurging on because the blend is fantastic. What do you guys think about Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and how do you feel about their fragrances? They're just really well made, in my opinion. All right, guys, last but not least, and then we'll give you 2 honorable mentions. This one from Sauvage, which I think is one of the best fragrance houses in the world. They really do make some complicated fragrances. A lot of their fragrances aren't mass appealing, but they're good. They make a lot of good ones. And this one right here called Reflection Man. It's so good, guys. It's basically, in a nutshell, this is fresh, it's clean, it's soapy, it's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit dry, it's a little bit warm, and I absolutely love it, guys. It is just spectacular, worth having in your collection. And guys, for around $300, man, I think it's worth it. I think a lot of the fragrances from Sauvage are worth it. Like I said, it's all a matter of opinion. I'm just having fun, okay? These are fragrances that I think are worth splurging on, and I get it. In this economy, a lot of us want to buy cheaper or buy dupes or buy clones. Nothing wrong with that. Just having fun. If we had unlimited money, what would we spend our money on? And this one right here, Reflection Man, I think is definitely worth doing it. Now, 2 fragrances that are going to be on my honorable mention, of course, Creed Aventus. Everybody loves this, to get this one as one of their first niche fragrances and love to splurge on because I just think it's amazing. This is the fragrance that started the pineapple craze. I know they've been bought several different times. I know they've changed formulations, but I still think Creed Aventus is a great fragrance house to splurge on, and I love this one. It's one of my favorites, so I had to put it as an honorable mention. And number 2, guys, this one from YSL called Tuxedo. It's hard to find. This one was like around 300 bucks, and I think it's definitely worth having in your collection because this just smells absolutely amazing. It's just an opulent fragrance. It's gorgeous, it's boozy, and it's just for that well-dressed man who wants to have a little bit of confidence. Those are my 2 honorable mentions, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me in the video. If you got any value from today's video, please leave a thumbs up. If you want to be a part of my fragrance family, please hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notifications off the side. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And let me know some of your favorite fragrances that you would love splurging on. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.